The death is announced of Theresa Thomas, better known as Florita, Marcio, or Mam, of Blanchard Deriso, who passed away at St. Jude Hospital on Thursday, 13th October 2016 at 4:20 p.m. She was 72 years old. Left to mourn her husband, Joseph Thomas, also known as Siwo, Daddy or Daddy Moy, uncle or brother Siwo, a farmer in Blanchard Deriso. Her mother, Philomene Mosheri, also known as Edvira or Ma Ferriton in Martinique. Her stepfather, Harold Mosheri, also known as Ferriton in Martinique. Her 7 children, including 3 sons and 4 daughters, namely Petrus Charles, also known as brother of Cantonment Beaufort, a former forklift operator and present managing contractor at the Wynwood and Leeward Brewery. Peterson Thomas in Martinique. Delano Thomas in Canada, employed of Rich Edmonton Crisis Division. Mona Charles Georges, a student in Canada. Sarah Thomas of Blanchard, a supervisor of the NICE program in Micoud North. Naomi Jules in Canada, paralegal, Counsel Immigration Canada, human rights activist and president of the Jules Foundation. Ingrid Charles in Canada, a teacher at Edmonton Public School. Adopted children: Eugenia Wilkinson, also known as Iglacia, of Bexon, actor of Chez Capeche. Deceased Margarita Octave of Bexon. 32 grandchildren, including Sanette Charles, acting Corporal 102 at the Border Lake Correctional Facility. Jeff Charles in Canada. Stanius Charles, acting Sergeant 103 at the Border Lake Correctional Facility. Fanius Charles, head of the security at Barron's Foods Limited. Chanel Charles, manager of Chanel's Garment Department. Milius Charles, laborer at the Wynwood and Leeward Brewery Limited, Vieux-Fort. Lestus Charles, laborer of the Wynwood and Leeward Brewery Limited, Vieux-Fort. Petrolina Charles, makeup artist in Cul-de-Sac. Cletus Duncan of Deriso. Ancus Charles, an employee at Coconut Bay Beach Resort and Spa. Sherry Charles in Grace Vieux-Fort. Lance Polio, Delphinus Delroy Polio, Verl Beltney Polio, and Faye Darnell Polio, all in Canada. Mackenzie Polio in Blanchard. Raymond Thomas, also known as JJ, student at the Blanchard Combined School. Samantha Jules, CJ Jules, Shania Jules, Shani Jules, all in Canada. Brandon Noel, engineer in Canada. Morris Charles of Castries. Jamilus Tana of Denry. Kayla Diane Charles of Vieux-Fort. Wania Azara Adam in Martinique. Shanique Melina. Stefan Nathan Charles, all in Canada. Great-grandchildren: Lamia Delphia, Lloyd Polion, Anika, Anelia, Amelia Charles, all in Canada. Anselma Cecilia Maximin in Brooklyn, New York. Delius Charles, Emily Jeanette Charles, Damien Jaden Charles, all in Cantonment Vieux-Fort. Sons-in-law: Francis Polio, also known as Cox, of Bellevue Vieux-Fort, a security at the Beanfield Comprehensive School, Vieux-Fort. Cuthbert Jules, also known as Cargo, in Canada. Keon Charles in Canada. Harvey Smaddy Wencells. Daughters-in-law: Petra Charles, Trisha Seeley Thomas, Tina Willie, Charlene of Cantonment, Vieux-Fort. Brothers: Matthias Mosheri, Corporal in the Crown Department of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force of Groseilliers. Isaac Mosheri in Martinique. Zacchaeus Mosheri, a welder in New York. Sam Mosheri, CEO of Chapeau Caraïbe in Canada. Baptist Flavius, also known as Kritos, in Blasha. Sonson Flavius in the USA. Bernard Flavius in St. Croix. Sisters: Eileen Marie Seelys in Blasha. Iluta Inglis in Blasha. Joan Polio, also known as Hot Watts, and Selena Polio in the USA. In-laws: Ermine Mosheri, a nursing supervisor in Canada. Leah Flemius of Groseilliers. Esther F. Henry, a health aide at the Victoria Hospital in Bexar. Carmen Flavius of Blasha. Theodore and family in Antigua. Stephen Anus and family in Barbados. Armstrong Garçon and family of Martinique. Cynthia Janke and family of Blasha. Philomena Gilbert and family of Barbonneau. Madalena Leon and family in New York. Elizabeth Frederick and family of Blasha. Deceased brother-in-law: McKennis Emmanuel and family of Deriso. Deceased Leonards Saint-Amy and family of Soufrière. Deceased sister-in-law Veronica Frederick and family of Deriso. Deceased Madeline Simeon and family of Blasha. Nieces and nephews: Pastor Shiras M. Isidore in Bexar. Zara May Mosheri in the U.S. Army. Casey Mosheri. Anne Slim King in Deriso. Giovanni Z. Mosheri, a student at the Sir Arthur Lewis Community College, Northern Division. Zakia Mosheri and her son. Zania Mosheri, a student at the SDA Academy. She was a mom to many, including Selwyn, Sandra, Simon Michael of Deriso. Lydia Tench, also known as Welly of Blasha. Rose McFarlane and Rosalind of Blasha. Fia Dorville. Shirma Cetus. Criselda Nolasta. Nyla Rudy. Marlon Tito. Anisita Cecil Mia. Chris Alfred. Olivia Eureka and Curtis George, all in Canada. Stephen, also known as Kakam in the USA. Bernard, also known as Cholo in Canada. George, also known as Ghana in Canada. Corporal Aiton Vernette David of the Royal St. Lucia Police Force, a tech to VPT Department, Vieux-Fort. Canyus Alphonse of Blasha. Ansem King of Blasha. Best friends Dadu of Blasha. Left to mourn: the Thomas, Polio, Simeon, Flavius and Mosheri family, all in Blasha. The Frederick family in Deriso. The Charles family of Cantonment, Vieux-Fort. The Celestin family in Dennery. Gerald William of Deriso. Orphan Alphonse of Deriso. Paulina William and Eulina Charles of Blasha. The Jarson family in Martinique. Mariana, Lydia, Paulina, Helena, George, also known as Oxefita, Olive Blasha, Philemon McFarlane, also known as Mabobo, John Monroe, and Deriso Seventh-day Adventist Church of Deriso. The Kingsview Village, Mount Olive SDA Church in Canada. Many other relatives, family, and friends both here and abroad, too numerous to mention. The funeral service of the late Theresa Thomas, better known as Florita or Masiwo, will be held on Sunday, 23rd October 2016 at 2 p.m. at the Agap SDA Church in Deriso. The body will be exposed for viewing from 1 p.m. and the body will then be laid to rest at the Deriso Cemetery. The body now lies at Lazarus Funeral Home, New Dock Road, Vieux Fort. May she rest in peace.